So anyway, they're 25 minutes into the show. They come back from the break. The match is already underway, but now they're back to booing Sami when he's on the offense. They booed, but they're doing arm drags. They're having a wrestling match, and the people are into it, and they're invested. And if Sami arm drags Cena, they'll boo, and if Cena arm drags Sami, they'll cheer. And Sami is not healing, but it doesn't matter because the crowd has a clear favorite. And Cena can't go as hard or as fast as he used to, nor can he bump as hard. But they don't care because it's him and they're seeing it and it's the last time and blah, blah, blah. But think about this for a second, Brian, because a lot of people, Cena's got 3 months left on his retirement tour, right? And that would mean, he stopped doing the countdown, but if he's going to be there 10 or 12 more times, and that's, I assume, Survivor Series and a network debut and a big Saturday night show, wherever a couple of other pay-per-views, right? During that time. Is that correct?
You would think so. They're going to end, I guess the last match is Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. It's supposed to be Boston. That's now a house show, I think.
Well, but
and then a Survivor Series and whatever December pay-per-view they have. He's
in the main event or feature match of events that are going to gross, or because of the rights fee be paid, they're going to be compensated for whatever, $50 million. Is that an exaggeration based on the figures that you've seen publicly reported? They're going to gross $50 million on just the events he's got left. Is that a terrible exaggeration?
Again, I don't have the numbers in front of me. It doesn't seem like a terrible exaggeration.
It might even be undercutting them. What kind of pressure? This is what nobody is asking. What kind of pressure is it not only on him, but whoever he's in the ring with? Because he's doing these moves that he doesn't normally do as a tribute to other people he didn't get to work with, like he does the pop-up power bomb for Owens, and he does this and that thing, whatever the fuck, right? Well, that's shit he doesn't do regularly. Plus, he hasn't had a regular schedule like this. He's doing these long matches. And yes, he's in great shape, but what kind of pressure must it be on him? Think, I better not fucking, hurt myself. Or it's throwing a $50 million fucking wrench in this deal. And for the people in the ring with him, when Sami Zayn gives him the exploder, he's at a very safe distance from the turnbuckle. Because what kind of pressure must it be on Sami Zayn to think when he's picking up the guy that's going to be in the feature match of $50 million worth of business in the next 3 months, and he needs to make sure he puts him down right. John's going to do as much of what he wants to do as he can, but he's not going to be stupid, and they're going to have him work with people. I know, I can't believe I'm saying even Brock, that are not going to be stupid with him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want him to get hurt, and if someone did happen to be the guy to hurt him, there would be a lot of pressure. With that said, how's he going to wrestle Brock Lesnar and it not be a physical thing?
Well, it's going to be a physical thing, but it's not going to be a stupid thing. Because, I would hesitate to say that John probably figures he's going to get tatered a couple of times in the side of the head, but he's not going to be picked up and thrown in such a way that he's going to have surgery. Right? That's the thing, is Brock has the ability and the mental acumen for this thing to know how, when to control himself a bit, but still project the aura, but he's not going to be goofy with Cena. But it's still going to be physical, but that's something that they will take pride in rather than taking stupid risks. And when it was, sometimes guys are good enough that they can make the safe shit look more painful than the dangerous shit. And that's what he did with Sami here. Instead of fucking up however many tens of millions of dollars, But they had a smart, logical, professional wrestling match, and the fans were into everything because the guys in it were over.
Isn't that the
And
most
they
important
were,
part? Like, they didn't have to do anything
y-
else. They did exactly what those fans were ready for.
yes, and again, it made sense, and it was a wrestling match, and the crowd was into it, and it harkened back a little bit to that's the way that the crowds used to be in kind of almost all the matches years ago before everybody got smart and became look at it like Rex Reed instead of. But they went through several breaks. They put some time in. They had some big false finishes, and then Cena even hit the GTS, and then he hit a spear, and he was getting big pops on these 2 counts, right? And the fans started chanting RKO. So he tried the RKO, but Sammy shoved him off, and Cena hit a clothesline and hit the AA off of the turnbuckles and got a big pop, and both of them were selling after this. It went about 20 minutes and had a heck of a match. And the fans were chanting, "This is awesome," as they're both laying there after the big move. And that's when they hit Brock's music. And the people go batshit. And you will recall, Brian, that when was it? About a month ago, he came out and just fucking F5'd Cena, and off he went, right? And we say he didn't come to TV. I don't know what the fuck. Well, just to make sure everybody remembers what he did, he came out and he F5'd him again. He F5'd Sammy, he F5'd Cena, and he F5'd Cena again. And then he put his fucking hat back on and walked out of there. But here's the thing, and that's again with Brock, the most dangerous thing he did when he pulled the referee out, poor old Rudy Charles, whatever his real name is that goes by now. He hurt him. That was fucking stiff. He pulled him and he couldn't control his fall to the floor.
Yeah, that was rough.
But the F5s on Cena were just fine. So he knows what he's doing when he wants to. And but again, F5, it's laughs, says nothing, and walks out. And then, when they go to break, they come back, and it's the replay of his run in, and Brock in the back saying, "I'll see you at WrestlePalooza, bitch."
Doesn't sound
just
right,
him having to say WrestlePalooza just didn't, yeah. But and then they made the match official for September 20th, Cena and Lesnar. So the first 50 minutes of the show was all Cena and this business, and it flew right by. You didn't want to just go, "What the fuck are they doing?" every couple minutes, because it wouldn't go away.
I know ECW used it, and obviously Lollapalooza is a big deal. But WrestlePalooza is like one step up from WrestleLicious. It's just like a stupid sounding name. It just sounds stupid. Hearing Brock Lesnar go, "I'll see you at WrestlePalooza," why don't you just invite him to Wrestle Rock? Like, it sounds so wrong.
Yeah, I'll see you at that pansy name they've given for this wrestling event, bitch. The fuck.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so interesting that all this is happening around the idea of a pay-per-view in whatever, a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then Cena leaving in a few months. They said Brock signed a new contract, or I read that Brock signed a new contract. So they have to have more plans for him down the road.
Well, and let's clarify that, because there was stories that when he was announced as having been legally cleared from this rigmarole by their staff, people were saying he'd been paid the whole time. And then they said he signed a new contract. Both was apparently true. He was paid through the end of the contract he had for a while, even though he hadn't been used. So again, hooray for him, but what a bunch of knuckleheads. I'd have put a hood on him if I had to. If I was paying him that kind of money, come to fucking work. But anyway, they signed him to a new contract going forward because it expired during the term of the brouhaha, is I guess what the official detail is. But he's back. So who's going to win? Cena's retiring. Brock signed a new contract. But does anybody want to see Brock beat Cena now? Now that he's back to his former vim and vigor as an honest, righteous, upstanding babyface simpleton, or what? I mean,
hey,
what?
No one wanted to see Brock beat the Undertaker, and they did it. Who knows?
I thought the idea is that Brock is supposed to be the guy that looks like he can beat everybody. That you want to make people see somebody beat him, but you would have to beat him for that to happen at every once in a while. So, but see, that's why they make horse races, as Lance Russell would say, or don't make horse races. That's why they have horse races. Do they book horse races? What would be the verb for the horse races?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
I thought you came from a long line of horse racing people.
I mean, I've had some fun. I've had some fun at Saratoga. But Saratoga.
Belmont.
Yeah, Belmont.
Well, that's a place in New York I can think of.
But, Jim, John Cena getting ready for the big match, having to deal with Brock Lesnar, who just throws referees around and everyone else around.
Yep.
He's got to be sore.
Gotta be.
Maybe even having a rough time sleeping with all these pressures on him.
Tossing and turning.
He could use some help, some friendly help, and it wouldn't be the first time that John Cena got some help from Louisville, Kentucky, from our friends at Cornbread Hemp.
That's exactly right. And I would encourage John Cena to think about this, and all the people who like and support John Cena now that he has seen the light. And they want to follow in his example and live an exemplary lifestyle like him. You got to think that he got trained in Louisville, Kentucky, and now he needs to turn back to his roots and come back to Louisville, Kentucky for our very own hometown product, Cornbread Hemp, baby. Because I knew these people were over with me, and now they proved it. They're sponsoring the University of Louisville basketball program and the football, and I believe they play some type of lacrosse and tiddlywinks and possibly competitive disc golf. I'm not sure, but they're sponsoring the U of L athletic program. And that's because they're a big deal in this town, Brian. I hope you know Cornbread Hemp. Their names are on the tip of people's tongues all over town, because all over town people are popping their Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies in their mouth to deal with the constant stress of daily life. If you just need a little relaxation, or you got the stress, or you got discomfort, now it won't help you with granny sour belches. But if you're getting granny sour belches because of stress eating away at your insides, and you're making your liver quiver and your knees freeze, your spleen turn green, ladies and gentlemen, if you can de-stress and get rid of that discomfort, it'll just do a world of good for your stomach too. It won't be all knotted up. The CBD gummies, Brian, are used. Well, they only use, here's what they do. Brian, they only use.
Yeah, what do they do, Jim? Or what do they use? Not what do they do? What do they use?
Well, they only use, Brian, the best part of the hemp plant, which is the flower, the purdy flower, for the purest and most potent CBD configuration there, so that it goes in these gummies. So they're formulated to, again, you sleep much better. If you got the sleeplessness, you'll start sleeping with these things. If you don't sleep for long enough, then sooner or later you're going to enter into some type of anaphylactic shock of the body. This has been proven by many studies, Brian.
I don't know what study. No, we don't know anything about studies either. You don't know anything about studies. What are you talking about?
Let's say you go 7 to 10 days without sleep, and then suddenly your arms start shaking and your knees are weak and you can't seem to stand on your own 2 feet. And that's why you need to sleep much more often than every 7 to 10 days, folks. So if you're sleepless, whether you're in Seattle or not, take 1 or 2 or 3 or as many of these gummies as is formulated on the bottle there.
The recommended amount.
Whatever's recommended, whatever they say, or if somebody's written it on there in Sharpie, you can go by that too. Of course, that would be an aftermarket edition.
There won't be any Sharpie on the official releases from Cornbread Hemp. Thank you.
Well, see, that's why you got to go to the official site. Cornbreadhemp.com, CORNBREAD, cornbreadhemp.com. See, a lot of people spell it BRED, bread, because we're in Kentucky. But there is an A in bread. Cornbreadhemp.com/JCE, and you can save 30% on your very first order. Just because you're listening to us, and just because I'm coming from Louisville, and so are they, and so are we, and we are all together in this, folks. So save 30%, cornbreadhemp.com/JCE. Use the code JCE at checkout. That's easy to remember, JC and E. And for CBD, because they're USDA organic. Remember, I told you Randy Hales started that USDA farm after he closed the USDA wrestling promotion. And he was actually the third party that owned that lab that tested these things to begin with to ensure the safety and purity of the products at Cornbread Hemp and the packaging alone.
Oh, you hear that, Jim? That's the bullshit detector. We need to get back to the real deal Cornbread Hemp. A great deal for the listeners.
The packaging alone from Cornbread Hemp will tell you that this is not some kind of shade tree operation, but they are indeed very professional and organized, and they're a multi-county firm now. They're just all over the place, and they're going to fix you up. 30% off, cornbreadhemp.com/JCE. Use the code JCE at checkout.